But let's say for example purposes, I do my research and educate myself about LLCs. I'm gonna put myself a manager of this box. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my real estate property and I'm gonna put it inside of the box. Then I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna lock it. Now, when somebody tries to take my real estate property, they're gonna have to go through this box, which won't open for anybody except for myself. I feel like the narrative has always been to hustle and get your money right, which is absolutely true. But I want you guys to get accustomed with not only keeping, but actually protecting what we work so hard for. Believe me when I say that this is something every wealthy person has got unlocked. Let me put this into perspective for you guys. If I were to sue somebody wealthy right now, chances are I'd end up with nothing, because on paper, they own nothing. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. At the end of the day, we don't want ownership, because that puts us in a vulnerable position to get it all taken away if we get sued. At the end of the day, what we really want is control. This is how you really become untouchable. So in today's video, I wanted to give you guys a quick intro into asset protection, something that I honestly feel all of us need to educate ourselves on, especially right now while we're young. So without wasting any more time, let's get to the information. So the very first way to protect investments is through something called an LLC, or Limited Liability Company. This is the first line of defense. An LLC makes you separate from all of the businesses and assets you might have. Investments like real estate or stocks, for example. Let's say for example purposes, I hypothetically rear-end somebody. And since I messed up their car, they decide to sue me for whatever I've got. When they eventually take me to court, they're gonna find that I own nothing to my name. Everything I have that's actually valuable and means something to me is controlled through the LLC, which is this box. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my real estate investments inside of the box. I'm gonna put my stock market investments inside of the box. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the box separate from me. This separates me from my investments and makes it so much harder for them to take whatever I've got. The best part is I still control these investments. I can basically do what I want with them. But on paper, they're separate from me. So technically, I have nothing. I know that this might be a bit difficult to keep up with the first time around, so I wanna give you guys another visual example to hopefully help you guys understand a bit better. So this box is an LLC, and the shoe you guys see here is a real estate property. Without the box protecting the real estate property, it can be taken away from me by anybody that wants to. But let's say for example purposes, I do my research and educate myself about LLCs. I'm gonna put myself a manager of this box. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my real estate property and I'm gonna put it inside of the box. Then I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna lock it. Now, when somebody tries to take my real estate property, they're gonna have to go through this box, which won't open for anybody except for myself. It's pretty cool, huh? But check this out, you guys. It doesn't end there. LLCs don't just protect your investments. They allow you to pay less taxes as well. Let's say for example purposes, somebody puts their dividend stock portfolio inside of this box. What they do is pay themselves through the LLC. And once they do that, they turn around and write off the taxes on those payments. I promise you guys I can't make this stuff up. People actually do this. And if you guys want to know something even crazier, these people will go on vacation for business and in turn be able to write off everything they spend their money on. That's right, you guys. They pay little to no taxes by going on vacation and treating it as a business expense. The craziest part about all of this is that it's actually legal, and it doesn't even end there. It's 100% available to you guys watching now and to me as well. This is how people like Donald Trump, for example, and businesses like Amazon paid little to no taxes. They always find completely legal loopholes in the system. A lot of people just want to complain, but they don't take the time out of their day to actually learn how the game works. I can't stress this enough, you guys. Educating yourself and really trying to learn new things is the most valuable thing you can do. It's what ultimately sets you free. So that's a quick glimpse into an LLC. Before I move on to number 2, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could hit the video with a quick thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds tops, and it really helps the channel grow and get promoted to other people. So of course, thank you guys. I really appreciate the support you give me day in and day out. And without further ado, let's move on to number 2. This one being an irrevocable trust. This is the second line of defense when it actually comes to protecting your investments. Irrevocable trusts are typically used to pass down your assets to the person of your choice, but they're also used to protect investments as well. So an irrevocable trust typically has 3 people in it, and I want you guys to write this down. So the first one is a settlor, or the person that actually made the trust, and the second one being a trustee, or the person that quote unquote manages the trust, and finally a beneficiary, or the person that's that's gonna eventually inherit the investments that are inside of the trust. Now stick with me, you guys. If you happen to be a bit confused, don't be afraid to ask a question. This stuff tends to get a little bit complicated at times. So once again, what people will do is they'll put their assets like their real estate and their stock investments inside of the box. And then they put somebody like a brother or a sister as a beneficiary. Once they do this, they're gonna have the person that helped them open the trust be a quote-unquote manager. The reason there's a quote-unquote manager is so that the person that opened the trust technically doesn't have full control. Now check this out, you guys. If a judge tries to make you give the assets away to somebody else, they can't, because technically you're not the one with full control. On paper, the manager is. This gives the judge little to no options. Their hands are basically tied. They can't do much to take your investments away. The reason I said that this is the second line of defense is because what a lot of people will do is they'll open up an LLC and then they'll put all of their stocks and the real estate investments inside of the LLC. So once they open up an LLC and put their investments in it, they're gonna open up an irrevocable trust. Once they open up their trust, they're gonna take the box, put it inside of the trust, and then they're gonna close it. Now, whoever wants to come for them have to go through the backpack and the box as well. So those are the basics of an irrevocable trust and an LLC. I'm really hoping I've done an okay job of explaining this to you guys. If you guys still found all of this a bit confusing, for sure let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to help you guys out and put you on more game. So a huge thank you to you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more free game. And of course, remember, beat the odds and do the numbers. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.